Live from Fort Salonga, New York, live on YouTube, KB2 UKA.
Hello, Doug, and 4VFR. I'm live from my radio station here in Jacksonville, Florida.
W4DOM at 40. And if you guys notice on the cluster, North Korea's on there, it's got to be a pony.
Oh, wow. And Darren, you are S9 now. S9 into Long Island.
Well, that's great news. With the amplifier 800 watts, making it all the way to Long Island.
What do you mean by pony, Dominic? A fake or what?
Yeah, there hasn't been any radio communication out of North Korea in quite a number of years. I don't think it's real.
Well, if it's real, he better not say where he's at.
Damn sure. It's funny, when you look up the call, it looks like an American.
Well, if there is an American there for business or whatever, which I don't think there should be, but if there is, I'm sure he doesn't have permission to transmit.
Yeah, well, that's just it. I don't think he can get permission to transmit, but I don't know. Maybe he could be German. He could be Swedish. I mean, he's not. Let me say, he's not Oriental.
Right. All right. Well, what? Excuse me. Where is he? What band?
Let me go look. Hang on a minute.
That's something I would never try and risk.
No. All right, guys. I want you to hear my DX audio. You ready?
I'm sure there'll be a notice before that happens that they're going to be on or something. I find it suspicious he popped up out of nowhere. But there's a lot of islands on, though. I will say that.
You go DX audio?
This is my DX audio. CQ North Korea. Do you copy?
Yeah, there you go.
That should be piercing to your ears.
No offense, Doug, but that sounds horrible.
Well, it's supposed to sound horrible, but it's loud though, right?
Yeah, it's no louder than what your standard audio is, but there's no bottom to it.
Yes, there is no bottom, just piercing, ear bleeding. Oh my God, I think we hear him audio.
He's on 10.145. It's FT8. Call sign is Papa 5/Golf 0 Yankee Charlie Echo.
What's the Papa 5/? What is that?
He should be a visiting dignitary, and he has permission to transmit there. I guess the P5 might be North Korea, and the G0YCE is where he's from. It may be England.
Yep, that looks like an English call, G0. Well, I don't even have FT8 set up right now, which that's on the list also of things to do.
Matter of fact, it is the P5 for some reason. When I put it in, it didn't come up. Well, it is. It says log in contact with P5. So I'm reading his page. If you go read his page, it might be legit. I don't know.
I'm opening a box that I bought from DX Commander Callum ahead of my replacement spreaders for my DX Commander Classics because stress fractures. I guess my guy was too hot and I pushed it down, so it definitely developed stress fracture. So I got some some beefier ones. I guess it's marine grade.
What do you mean pushed it down?
I tied it, when you tied it off from the spreaders, and then I kind of like pull it, taut, and so it kind of like bends the spreaders downward.
Oh, I got you. So you got some different ones or ones from him?
They're normally the white PVC looking one. Now I got this beefier green one. I'll take a picture when I open it and I'll send it to you on Rumble.
Alright. Oh, they got fireworks going off. I hear fireworks.
Yeah, Darren, Callum did update those spreaders there a little while ago because he did realize that they were having issues with the white ones. So I think the new gray ones are the ones that are supposed to be marine grade and a lot more tolerant to the UV.
Yeah, he gave me a discount, but it's good. So whenever I get a chance, longer than 1 day here, stay. I'm going to repair it. Maybe make a YouTube video about it and then probably put new wires.
Oh, put some heavier gauge wires?
Yeah, I think the ones I'm using was like for 14 gauge. Let me see. Hey, Doug, do you still have the DX10 wires that you bought?
I do. I still have a whole roll of it, an entire roll. It's like 20 gauge, Darren.
Oh, bummer. That's a good thing.
So I put up my first loop with it because Callum swears that it can handle legal limit, which it might handle legal limit, but it can't handle legal limit with the current that was probably being generated because I'm using 600 ohm. The voltage was probably way through the roof, and I melted the damn wire. I went out there to add wire one day, and I cut it to splice it, and the copper was all black. So, like a fool, I shouldn't have used wire that thin, no matter what it's advertised to do. So I had to take it down, and then I put 12 gauge up. Over?
Yeah, I was listening to you or eavesdropping one evening when you were talking about that. I was studying on my Boeing 737. Yeah, I heard about that. I told Mike that he wanted me to order some DX10, and I told him to make contact with you to see if he had any leftovers.
Do you need it? I think I have a 300-foot roll minus like 10 feet.
Whenever Mike comes on the line, ask him if he still needs some.
Oh, he needed it. Yeah, I'll send him a message. I have it. I don't plan on using it. It would be great wire for radials. I would use it for radials, but I don't think I'm putting a vertical up.
Could you use that for like a horizontal loop receive only?
Absolutely. So maybe I will keep it. I could use it for a loop on the ground. It would work wonderful.
Yeah, that'd be good for a diversity antenna too.
Yeah, I could make a. Dominic will tell me what I need. Dominic, if I wanted to make like a 70-foot tall vertical alongside a tree with that wire, what would I need at the bottom at the feed point to be able to use it as a receive antenna on 80 through 10? And remember, I want it to hear a lot of noise.
You want it to hear noise, or you want to pick up signals?
I want to pick up signal. For a true diversity antenna, it should hear the noise because my loop is very quiet and picks up all signals.
Well, I was thinking, I guess you could do a vertical like that. Nothing really, just stick the wire straight up. You could put a counterpoise on it if you want. But I think the best antenna for receiving would be what they call a log. It lays on the ground. it doesn't actually make a physical contact with your feet, with the coax. You use RG6 too to go out to it, and you wind around the transformer on two sides of the transformer because there's two holes. And then the wire could be, some guys even bury it 3 inches in the ground, but some guys leave it right on top of the ground, and that's your best for pulling out. Like if you had like an S6 noise level and there was somebody in there, S4, S5, you wouldn't be able to hear them normally. But with your diversity and that antenna on the ground, you'll be able to get rid of the noise and hear the guy.
Well, yeah, you remember that's what I was using at the last QTH, and here I can make the damn thing much, much bigger. And I had the transformer, and I used 75 ohm coax, and it was great.
The other thing you could do is just a straight beverage antenna.
Check.
It'll shoot off from one direction, and you could, in that direction, you could use it like you point it northeast. I guess it'll also work in the opposite direction as well. And I don't know if you got the room for that. But the log doesn't have to be very big either. It could be. You can be as small as a 15 foot by 15 foot by 15 feet and 15 feet. But if the bigger you make it, the more bands you're going to be able to use it on. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the last one I had, it was 40 by 20, so it was a rectangle. I could probably make it easily here 60 by 60.
Yeah, if you could do it in a circle, it'd be neat too.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I could do a circle. Absolutely. And I can put the feed point right near my pass-through, near the walkway, and bring it right into the shack the way I have my other coax.
Right, and on that feed line, you can use RG6, regular a TV coax, and just bring that up into the BNC connector or whatever you need there in the back of your radio and plug it in. And that could be your dedicated receive antenna for your diversity.
The problem is, I think the problem I had with it last time, it's too quiet. It needs to be louder. So if it needs to be louder, I wouldn't want to do that. I'd want to do the vertical probably.
Well, you have your other antenna because diversity is going to use both antennas. So the one you have high up will bring in the signal, and the one down at the ground will smother the noise. And then I guess when diversity gets to kicking in there, it gives you a 50-50 combination. So you'll have a good signal, not fantastic, but you'll have a little bit of noise, and it won't be fantastic. You know what I mean?
Yep. All right, yeah. Yeah, I'm just being lazy now because this loop, the noise floor is very, very quiet. I have some weird local noise. I didn't do the test yet. It's either coming from the house. It's probably coming from the house. On 20 and 17 meters. It's some humps that I see in the spectrum. It's not, it doesn't ruin my ability to be on 20 or 17, but it'd be nice to be able to null that out.
Yeah. The two things that have caused interference with me was cordless phone charger, wireless phone charger, and it was a Samsung one. And then I bought a different one, and that one also did it, but it wasn't as bad. They can't be in the same room. It could be in another room, but I could still see it, but it's not that bad. And then the other thing was the modem, believe it or not, my router.
Yep.
And there was something wrong with it, I think, though, because they came and they replaced it and never did it again. But other than that, I haven't had much. Now, Art said his treadmill over there would set off his radio too. Is that treadmill plugged in you got all the time?
Wait, you talking to me?
Yeah, don't you have a treadmill in the basement?
Oh, yeah, I've got the Peloton bike and I've got a little crappy elliptical machine. None of them, we haven't plugged any of those in since we moved here yet. They're still being moved around. I don't know where they're going to be. That's not it. What it could be, Dominic, it could be my mesh routers. I'd have to unplug all of them and see if it's them. It could also be, which is right opposite my back wall here in the shack, I have something called a Ratio, and Ratio is a wireless Wi-Fi sprinkler control box. So I have like 12 sprinkler zones outside, and I control them from my cell phone. and I schedule them from my cell phone, and the damn thing connects to AccuWeather, and it knows if it's going to rain, and if it's going to rain, they don't turn on. It could be that thing also.
Oh, yeah. And what's directly above your room?
Good question. So you go up the stairs. I think the study, the library. So that's where I have the main mesh router right above me. It could be that.
Oh, yeah. W4DM, I think we missed 50.
We did KB2 UKA.
V3PSN.
What do you think, Scott?
I don't know. It could be that.
And it's not that bad. It's just you've seen it before where like your pan adapter's nice and flat and there's this one section where it humps up and that's noise. Like if you look right now on YouTube, my 80 meters, it's beautiful. 40 meters is beautiful. It starts at 20 and 17. That's it. It's just 20 and 17. So you got to think what's in that. What would be producing interference at 14 megahertz and 18 megahertz? Because I didn't check 15, I didn't check 12, but it's definitely not on 10. So I only noticed it on 20 and 17.
Right. I want to see if anybody else was in here and see if Art got on. N4Q and 2, did you make it in? Man, these old timers are slow lately.
I don't think I've spoken to Art on the radio in about a week and a half.
I know. What's he getting into over there?
You know what? He's probably building a rhombus and he doesn't want to tell us.
Oh, that's right. He had an antenna to put up today, didn't he?
He did, but he went to work, I think. So it's probably going to be tomorrow, unless he did do it. It's the NFED, right?
Yeah, I thought I read something. I don't know. I was under the impression that when he got home from work, he was working on it. He might still be out there. Who knows?
I might pick up one of those too, Dominic, and then I could use it for 160, and then when I'm not on 160, I could use that as my diversity antenna as well.
Oh, yeah.
Someone told me that in order for diversity in Thetis to work the right way, the receive antenna needs to have the same gain as the transmit antenna.
Well, I guess that's for for the ideal setup. So I don't know. I would imagine anything would work. I think there was somebody that experimented with different antennas on diversity and they liked it. I guess if the Art gets this antenna up tonight, he'd be playing with it. Yeah, them spreaders look tough.
Yeah, they're strong.
Strong like bull.
What radio is that Bone has?
Bond, you mean?
Bond, yes.
I don't know. I think, I forget. I think it's, I don't know what that is. I don't know.
He said he was QRP, so whatever that is a QRP rig.
That's what I was going to say. It looks like one of those QRP radios. It's pretty neat looking, though. I like the display on it. I wish I could go inside my 7100 and put a color display in it.
Yeah, I can't believe they friggin' made it black and white.
I know, right? I would have traded anything off for a color display. And, you know, I'm really curious. I wonder if you had a color display the same size as this, if you plugged it in, if it would work.
I don't know. I don't see why not. unless there's a module that you need to make color to make the well, what do you got? You basically have LEDs in the display, right? That are giving the numbers look like an old alarm clock.
Yeah, it's just like a regular display. It's an LCD display, though. It's liquid crystal, I guess. And it's touchscreen, so it's just like a regular display. I'd imagine that all the color and stuff is handled in the display. It's just a matter of getting the data in there and make sure. I don't know. I ought to try to check and see who manufactures the 7100 display. And then get the exact size of it and specs, and then compare it to a color one that you can buy like on Amazon or something. Who knows?
The 3PSN.
Yeah, that would probably be a good idea. I bet when they were bringing these things, when they were manufacturing them, they couldn't get color displays for some reason, or they would have had to wait for color. So the distributor of the display said, "Well, I've got 50,000 black and white ones," and they said, "Do it, send it."
Yeah, well, it's a feature-packed radio, and they were trying to keep the cost down, I guess. It is designed to be a mobile, really, so I don't know. But even in the car, it would have been appreciative. But you're not going to be looking at the radio too much, I guess, if you're driving. So I don't know what the theory was behind that. But at least they should have done was, and they could have made money doing this, made an option where you can have this display that comes with the radio, or for an extra $300, you can get a color display.
Right. But they didn't, Dominic. So what is that? Is that radio VHF, UHF, and HF?
Yeah, it is. It does 2 meters, 70 centimeters, 6 meters, HF. Yeah, it does all of that. It even has one of those scan pan adapters. Like if I want to look to see if the band is busy, I can hit a button and it cuts my receive out, just like I guess some of the older ages did. It'll cut my receive out, and it'll scan the band, and it'll look like a cityscape, when it's done, and then my receive, it'll go back to the frequency where I was, and it'll come back up again, the audio. But it's really not working. The plug nickel that thing. I would have traded that for a color screen in a heartbeat.
Yeah. Now I'm wondering if you could do full duplex with VHF, UHF. I've been getting a weird bug to try satellite.
Oh yeah, this thing's all set up for satellite. You can do satellite with this. Matter of fact, there's a program you can get at the Microsoft store. It's plainly called satellite tracking. And when you go there, you'll see a picture of the ISS with the Earth in the background. If you install, it's free, and if you install that, it'll control the 7100. It actually has most of the it has all the ham satellites in it. And when you click on it, it also gives you choice of frequencies. Like some satellites will have like 3 different sets of frequencies, like the ISS, and you can pick the one that you want to listen to, for this, by the schedule of that satellite, and it'll automatically track the receive and transmit frequency.
Oh, that's very cool. Yeah, Rick, N8SDR is starting to get the bug, and he's been sending me articles on homebrew egg beater antennas and these little Moxons you could build. So it might be a little winter project. You don't have to get the damn thing up high either. You just need it in the clear. I'm not too worried about trees. Whatever. It'll go through the tree, I would think, or around it.
It'll work. It'll work, but it's best if you can have a clear shot, but it's not necessary. Yeah, I got some 8-gauge copper wire that I plan on making some 8 meters out of, and they also M2 or M Square. They sell satellite antennas too. They're like square loops. Those 8-meter antennas though that you see for sale for satellite, they want some big bucks for that stuff. I can't believe how much money they get for those little antennas. But you can build. There's a lot of DIYs on doing it yourself. Let me forward you on top of the hour in case we missed it and see if anybody else wants to jump in here.
All right, KB2 UK. I'll be right back, guys. 2 minutes.
And 4 BFR.
The 3PSN. So what frequency would you be doing the satellite on there, Dominic?
Well, that's just it. You could pick them. Let me close this other program up and bring up the satellite and give you the frequencies more accurate. With the satellite tracking program, telling me I got another program using my thing. Hang on a minute, it's updating right now.
All right, I'm back. Yeah, the satellite stuff is just cool. It's really cool. I've looked at the egg beaters at M2 cells, and I did a little bit of reading. I think if you're going to use them, you got to use a preamp on them.
Oh, yeah. Well, currently the ISS is over South America, and they're doing, I don't know if they're still doing it, they were doing a slow scan TV experiment, and that frequency is 145, 825, according to what this thing says here. Wait, let me double check that. Let me see. Yeah, it says 145, 825 for the slow scan, although I think they were doing it on 800 over the weekend. They were testing something. And if you want to do like an FM repeater, 2 meter to 70 centimeter, well, no, we want 2 meter to 2 meter. Hang on a minute. 2 meter repeater is 145, 800, and that will be your receive, and your transmit would be 145, 200. And that'd be a 2 meter repeater. And then you have one that goes from 2 to 70. And basically, when when the space station comes over, it comes over pretty quick. So you're exchanging call sign, and then a signal report when you finally get a hold of somebody, but it's call sign and grid square. He'll come back with your call sign and grid square and a signal report. And then you may get a chance to go back one more time and tell him his signal report, and then you'll lose him, and then you end up with somebody else. But that's the frequencies for that one. And then we have other, satellites like Amatrosk or AO 85, and that one is currently nearby. It's actually within my realm here. But I'm not seeing any frequencies on the profile, so AO 85 may be dead in the water.
So now my question is it when you're working these things, is there a lot of doubling happening? Because it can only handle one transmission at a time, right?
Oh, yeah. Well, like when you're on the repeaters, there's a whole bunch of people because people come in range and then they go out of range. Yeah. So when as it's coming at you, you'll hear several different people, and the ones that are further away on the other side of the radius of the space station, they'll drop off, and then you'll hear other guys. So it's really a fast-moving thing when you do like contacts on the space station. So it'd be W4 DOM EM94NJ, and then somebody come back and use my call sign and give me a signal report and his grid square. Then I'll jump back with his call sign and his signal report, and that'll be the end of the contact. If you get that much time.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, man. That's cool. And that software that you were mentioning, does that also change the frequency for Doppler?
Yes, it does. It automatically does. I'll tell you, I've used a handy talkie, a little Bofang outside on the station when I knew it was going to be a pretty direct, pass, and I made one contact, But from a base with different antennas higher up, an egg beater, you could actually last about maybe 8 to 10 minutes on making contact on the ISS. But like with a small antenna, handheld, maybe one.
Very, very cool. Very, very cool. And then if you use, I guess, the linear satellites, they're going to use single sideband, and you could get more contact. I guess it's more spread out that way.
Yeah, you can also do EME, Earth, Moon, Earth. You take a pair of co-phase antennas or a nice high gain antenna, You point it up, you get it on an azimuth elevation rotor, you point it up at the moon, and you bounce the signal back. That also is, it's a little, you have a little bit more time on that, but the moon is orbiting the Earth, you know, so it moves, and we're moving. So as it moves, you'll lose you'll lose, say, Japan, and California will start coming in as it rotates around us, you know what I mean?
Yep. Dominic, how you copying me right now?
5 over S9.
Yeah, that's what I got you at. Okay. All right, cool.
I'm currently running 900 watts, 9 to 1,000 watts. Let me see if Art's floating around. I don't know if he's working any DX, but let's see if he wants to get in here. W4DO, I'm taking a standby.
Yeah, I'm here. Good evening, guys. N4 QNT. Good to hear everybody.
Good evening, Arthur. I feel like it's been forever, my friend.
Yeah, it seems that way. You know, just time flies, man. And I don't know, we just seem to miss each other, the schedules and all that stuff, right? Family stuff, and oh boy. But all good. Good to hear you. And yeah, about 5 over 9. But the band, I don't know, the band seems a little weird. I mean, we'll see. Hopefully it'll come up better.
All right, well, I've got you 10 to 15 over. Sounding marvelous. This is all new audio I'm running.
Uh-oh, he made some changes. Okay, are you still on the ribbon mic, or are you trying a different mic?
I am on the Behringer XR18. I'm doing all the processing in there. And I'm running the old Stellar X2 condenser.
All right, the old Stellar. Okay, so right there, I noticed, man, the band just took a dip. Did you? You just notice it here on my signal? Is it down right now?
Well, you're peaking S10. You were peaking 20 over before. But everything seems. This is about 1,150 watts at you.
All right, it must be the band. I know it's, you know, Dom, I heard you were like, geez, you were nicking 40, so, you know, definitely playing short right now.
Yeah. Hey, what if John's out there? KC2 QMI, right? Are you in here? The QMI or QMY?
QMA.
QMA. Way the hell off, wasn't I?
Well, you have 20. Excuse me. You have 26 different options. You'll get it.
You got somebody else out of bed. Good evening, Art.
Hey, good evening, Scott. Nice to hear you.
Nice to hear you. You're 10 to 15 over.
Well, thank you. I see a 0 beat, so who can it be now?
What antenna are you on, Art? Did you get the end fed up?
Yeah, so this is the doublet, the flat top doublet, and the 12 gauge stuff, RF Davis, all that. It's up there, proud again. So I have the balun. I'm looking at it right here. It's on my desk, and it's just a matter of connecting and getting this thing going. I'll probably do it tomorrow. I figure it'll warm up about 1 o'clock. It should be beautiful out, like 68 degrees with some sun.
That's great. I can't wait to hear it. Can't wait.
I thought it'd be up by now.
I worked late, actually, but who can it be now? Is that Rick?
Good evening, guys. I need SDR.
Good evening, Rick.
Oh, Rick.
Hello, Richard.
I barely hear you. Unfortunately, you need to get the amp.
Well, if you barely hear me, I don't know if another 500-600 watts is going to help. I've got US7, but I've got NR2 on, and I hear you fine.
You're barely S8 here, and you're right at my noise.
Well, you see, the good old loop's got my noise floor at like minus 125, so I'm hearing you no problem.
Yeah.
Art's about almost 20 over. Dominic's like 15 or 5 over or so. And Scott was, I think, around 5 or 10 over with him.
All right, so we'll see what happens. Maybe another 20 minutes here. It'll go a little bit longer, but I can hear you fine, Rick.
So Dominic.
Hey Dom, you copy Rick?
Hello, Dominic.
Dominic, you're being paged.
Yeah, Penny was talking to me. Go ahead.
Hey, what are you using for a satellite antenna?
Nothing yet. I'm going to make me one of them egg beaters. I got some copper wire.
Well, I was going to make an egg beater, and then I found this other thing, and I've sent Doug a couple of them. I don't know if he's been forwarding them to you. So,
No,
I
I didn't.
picked up an older 847 that is actually a true satellite radio. It's all mode, and it'll do the whole Doppler shift with the tracking stuff automatically, even on transmit.
Yeah, the TS2000 did that too, but I don't feel like there's a relay that's better than I don't feel like working on it anymore. But, yeah, the other one, the software track it with the 7100 does a good job. I used it on the ISS to make some quick contacts, but, yeah, I'm using a vertical antenna that's 15 feet off the ground, which is not a big deal of height, but it's a vertical. I'll tell you, when that thing gets overhead, like a direct overhead pass, he hits a certain area above me, I lose him.
Yeah, that's the same thing I've experienced too, because that's what I've been using is my 2-meter 440 vertical, which is about 17 or 18 feet off the ground. But I'm going to build, I don't know if I'm going to build either the egg beater or I'm going to build a pair of box signs that are pointed up vertically, and there's two of them on, there's two for 2 meters, two for 440, and then you phase them so they're 90 degrees, and then they're right-hand polarity.
Oh, that works like that?
Yeah, and there is supposedly they have a wider horizon area than an egg beater does.
Wow, look at that.
Oh, wow.
With the noise floor.
I'll
Holy
get check it out.
schmoly.
I used to use a pair of circular polarized Fishcraft antennas. I don't remember the names of them, but they were circular polarized, 2 meter, 70 centimeter, and I had it on believe it or not, a regular rotor, and connected to that rotor was one of those alliance rotors that had the hole through it. I used that for the elevation. It bolted to the other rotor pretty good. So, but I had to use 2 control boxes when I was tracking.
Yeah, the UA100.
Yeah, and then later on, the Commodore, somebody came out with the software for the Commodore, and I was like, and I built the controller. You know, I may even still have that old rotor controller in the shed.
I found an article. See if I can. I think I saved it. I'll look for it again. I'll forward it to you. You know that cheap? It's a TV rotor. It's not the RCA and it's not the MTE. It's something else that has a wireless Wi-Fi box. Somebody figured out how to use a USB cable into that Wi-Fi box, and they actually set a program up that will let you do. It'll self-adjust when you use the tracking software to use that cheap rotor
cool.
for your azimuth.
Oh wow, that would be cool. And the software does have rotor control in it too. You just got to tell it. I guess Yaesu. I don't know. I don't think it makes too much of a difference what brand it is. I guess there has to be some kind of. I don't know if it needs a computer interface or you just build something for it.
Yeah, it depends on which brand. Which tracking software are you using?
It's called satellite tracking from the Microsoft store. It's not free. I mean, it's a free version of it, but you can get rid of the ads and you have a little bit more functionality when you pay for it.
So does that also do cat control for your radio?
Yeah, it does cat control for ICOMs. I didn't see any of them listed in there except for ICOMs.
Okay. Yeah, I've been using StatCat 32.
Oh, okay. So, Art, Doug was asking earlier what he should use for his diversity antenna. I was telling him either a log or a Ronzik, but he says he wants to get it do a vertical one.
Yeah, I mean, even an inverted L should work pretty good. Something vertical, but just to phase off the horizontal, so you have the two polarization. To the vertical, I guess that seems to be the norm anyway for being a diversity antenna. That would work good.
So, I was thinking vertical because I want something that's hears more noise. But then I was reading, because remember I had the loop on the ground at the last QTH, and I feel like that was too quiet. Because this loop that I use now is very, very quiet. The noise, like I can hear S4 signals, no problem. I have a little bit of noise on 20 and 17, like in the middle of the band. It's definitely something local. I would just want to see if I can null that out. So I need an antenna that'll hear that noise, but I also heard that you need to make, if you want it to work really well, whatever your diversity antenna is, it should have the same gain or very close to the same gain as your transmit antenna.
Oh, okay, yeah, that does make sense. Rick, were you jumping in? Were you going to say something?
I think that's what Doug said. I could barely hear him, but he mentioned that you want to try to keep your receive gain the same as your other antenna. That's what you want to do.
Yep, Roger. That's what I said.
Yeah, that does make sense. So really, those ground-mounted loops, I mean, they're quiet, but also, there's definitely not even close to the gain of your up-in-the-air antenna.
That's why you have to put a preamp on it.
Right. So you should have a preamp on the ground-mounted, on the loop on the ground, which I never did. But it said to make it more effective, you put a preamp on it.
Yeah, in some cases you have to anyways.
Oh my, that was all over the place.
That might be John. I don't know why. I saw this earlier. It's 4-toning. It's not 2-toning.
I see more than 4. It was like 6.
Hey, that was me. N4VFR. Hello, Art, Rick, and everyone else.
Hey, Captain Darren. Hello. Good to hear you.
I'm home for a day, and I gotta go back to Houston tomorrow, so I had to pick up some medication. I'm at the physical location right now in Jacksonville. Took the red-eye flight from San Francisco early this morning.
It'd be kind of cool if you had your
Check. Okay.
up to work remote, and I could have worked you north of the equator, and then this next second I could have worked you south of the equator.
And that's funny. On the way to Ecuador, I was on this frequency, and I was calling for Dominic. And I know Dom was on here, but nobody came back. It was probably like 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock your time.
Yeah, I was probably working, but yeah, that's quite the destination. You got a all new, I guess a whole new flight log now. You're going to places you haven't been before, huh?
Yeah, I'm still on the training. So far I got about 22 hours in the Boeing 737, and I'm flying in different cities like San Francisco to San Diego, back to San Francisco to Houston. Then move us to Ecuador, the country, back to Houston, and then back to San Francisco. So I'm going to position myself back to Houston, and they're going to send me to, I think, Newark, New Jersey.
Roger. Oh, there was another big 4-toner. It looks like a 6-tone up down the band. I just saw that.
Yep, there it is. I see it.
There it is again.
Oh, now it's 2.
Yeah, that whoever that is coming up here. They're tested something down there. So Art, are you using 10.3.3?
It's going to help, but I don't know. Something's not right, man. I just, I want to come out and say it. The sugarcoat this, right? But I mean, I hear Scott and DJ. They're up there. They're pretty far up to the north, but I don't know what's going on. Why you? It's not so much your signal. It just sounds like your let's just say signal to noise floor. I mean, your audio seems down, but yet it's not down meaning structure. I mean, I hear it's got the bass and everything's nice. It's rumbling, but I don't know why. I just got you like in the noise. You're like right in there, just a hair under S9.
Who's that? Me?
Yeah. I just wanted to make the comment. I thought maybe it's the band, but when Scott comes in, he's booming in here. I just don't know what's going on here. It's really weird.
Well, I'm driving the amp better. I changed a lot. I changed leveler settings. I changed ALC settings. SWR is good. I don't know. I don't know what it could be. I'm zero. Maybe do you think I need more gain? Now, my ALC compression is hitting like 15. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
Okay.
Hey, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm going to concur with him. The first time you came on from that QTH with that 16 gauge wire, even though it burnt up, your signal was as high as John's. John comes in 15 to 20 over. You come in 9 to 5 over. You were as high as John, if not maybe a little better, with that skinny wire antenna that you fried. If you could duplicate what you first put up, I think you'd see a big difference. I think you could do a lot better.
Here's the problem.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, he raised his loop to 70 feet before it was lower. His antenna is set up great for DX, but locally underneath that 1,500 mile range, it's going to suck. He's lost the angle for local communication. That's all it is. His audio is. It's not his audio. The signal being low is dragging his audio down.
I agree with that.
I'm outside that range.
I mean, there's something to be said about 40-foot antennas. Seriously, I mean, I'm right there. 43, 45, maybe nicking 50. But that's the cloud warmer effect, which plays great for 800 to 1,200 miles.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah, so the feed point is 75, 80 feet now, and then it slopes down to the rest of the loop, which is like 50 to 60. But the feed point, you saw that picture I sent, it is way up there. It can't be the audio. I'm gonna send an audio clip from one of the local SDRs here. The audio is very loud, so it's got to be. It's got to be, to Rick's point, especially on 80, because I raised it up. I probably have a lower takeoff angle now.
Yeah, well, what did you have originally? What was that very first antenna?
The first antenna was 250 feet in a flat top triangle, and it was about 45, 50 feet max.
Yes, well, that was the antenna that had an outstanding signal. I don't know, maybe you should leave this one up for DX and put yourself up an antenna like Art's got there, and for the local stuff.
Well, Art, what are you copying me at? Can you give me a recording?
Yeah, I can make a recording, but right there, I mean, there was a little QSB. Prior transmission, you were a hair stronger, but then right there, you just hit me with 10 over, exactly 10 over, but the audio did increase. I noticed that. The audio did come up.
Yeah, I think if anything, I'm hot on the audio. Not bad hot, but like, right at the line of before being too hot. All right, if you're going to record, I guess we could do it now. I just want to hear what you're hearing. This is KB2 UKA Long Island, New York, running the XR18 the Stellar X2 mic, and doing just about a kilowatt into the 80 meter loop, KB2 UKA.
All right, about the first 6 seconds of that, it might be a hair on the low audio side. I had to increase the gain. I didn't have it where it should be, but here it comes.
This is KB2 UKA, Long Island, New York, running the XR18, the Stellar X2 mic, and doing just about a kilowatt into the 80 meter loop. KB2 UKA.
Yeah, well, it's not, it's not 20 over. I can hear that. It's not a 20 over signal right now. I don't know.
Yeah, and that is the noise, Mick. That's what I'm experiencing. There's a lot of noise floor mixed in with your signal, and that's why I'm saying just something is not right. It's I kind of like what Rick's talking about here. We might want to lower that antenna.
Hey, I just put a recording on Rumble of what I'm hearing and with the noise.
Comment.
Yeah, go ahead, Scott.
Yeah, Doug. I've been paying attention to the signal strength between the Pennsylvania WebSDR and my QTH, and there's a good 20 dB difference. Like in Pennsylvania, the meter here is showing you somewhere around 15-20 over, and then I got you just at the S9, and the audio quality is the same. It's just the level of audio there, like what Art's describing. So it's probably just distance.
Yeah, so, but now you're 475 miles from me. That's further than that Pennsylvania SDR. So then if it was a height thing, right, shouldn't it be the opposite? But I could be wrong.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't answer that. I've just that's the only two measurements I've got right now.
And now, Scott, to me, you're steady S9 and you peak 5 over. Steady S9 and you peak 5 over. That's what I've got you at.
Okay, that's good, because I'm giving you somewhere around 800 watts, maybe sometimes 9.
And then you have me what? The same, right? 9, maybe a little time, sometimes plus 5?
Yeah, right now you're just hitting your S9 on average, and sometimes you're just into the +2, +1 type thing.
Yep, that's exactly where I have you. Exactly.
See the difference.
What was that, Tom?
I just put an audio clip on. The second audio clip I put on is you and Scott talking.
All right, let me give it a listen. KB2 UKA.
N4 QNT. I think I missed the bottom.
V3 PSN.
W4 DR.
N8 SDR.
Well, I guess I'm going to finish my tower tomorrow. I got a section of paint, and I'll be done with the paint, and I think tomorrow's going to be my last window of opportunity before the cold gets too cold. Yeah, it's out of the box. It's actually, I got the 3 to 4 sections painted. What was that, Doug?
That's what we're saying.
Well, I hear you. As long as nobody sees up before you or during you. That's what I'm saying. You hear how Scott sounded? That's what you sounded like on that 16 gauge one.
He said, that's horrible. I could barely hear myself.
Me, VA3 KBC. Because you're 15 over here. You guys doubled. Come back again. I want. Somebody was 20 over. I think Dom might have been you, and Doug, you're about 15. But I wonder if it's got to do with the antenna orientation.
Well, I think it's radiating towards me and Scott. Scott, what are you picking up Dougal at?
I've only got him at an S9, maybe +1 at the most. So I don't know. I can't answer that. I do know that your setup, DJ, works better than mine as far as receive. I can tell you that. That doublet receives better than the loop. So that we always know. Go ahead.
.62 feet, because the other day I went up just now is extended instead of looped, so I moved up the doublet. So I kind of did a calculation there. So it's at 62 feet. My ends are at roughly 48 feet and 45 feet. So it's not totally horizontal, but it's as close as I can get. So, and it's running northeast southwest.
And then it's and I know the corner there on the south side. It's as high as I can get it. It's 50 feet. I know that. So and then it threw me a little bit, but so it's right around the 45 to 50 mark.
Roger. Okay, we'll see what Douglas got.
I have no change on you, Doug.
Yeah, Doug, I won't go there with you like I did this morning with somebody on here, but man, I told the guy to take his antenna and move it up to the next branch. That is a possibility. What was that, Dom?
His first antenna kicked ass.
Well, I mean, and I agree with Doug. You know, there is a possibility, but my antenna has never changed angles. You know, it's always I don't know, what is it, northwest to southwest. So that's how it's set. It's the only way I can set it up with my tree line. But you know, I guess it's 80 miles difference for John, and he's always 20 over.
John usually floats between 15 and 20 over here. That's when I hit John on and I hit Doug on, I can see the difference. I don't know. And you checked out all your boxes outside, and is the tuner still tuning like where it should be?
Well, Doug, I would do what Rick suggests, lower that antenna down a little bit, at least the feed point there where your doublet or 600 ohm ladder line goes up. I would lower it down just for the heck of it and see what happens.
I'll put up a doublet.
Hey guys, does the height on like a loop work the same way as what the length on a vertical does? You know what I mean?
compared to like your old QTH, you are a lot better. So you went from like a 5.7, and now you're up there to 9 to 5 over S9. Sometimes 10 over S9. You do peak up every once in a while, but nothing like the first time at this QTH. You were 15, 20 over. You were as strong as John is with me, and John's on that sloper. And I wish he could pop in here so we could see the difference again.
Hey, Doug, your audio on the YouTube, when you're talking, it's not coming through, only what's coming through on the radio.
Oh, there we go. Now you'll hear me.
Hey, Doug, your feed point's up, 70 feet, you said?
About like 75.
Okay, 75, thanks.
So it's up a half wave on 75, 80 meters. It's shooting over the top of everybody. I'm telling you, it's probably great for DX, but locally it sucks.
Yep, that's what's happening. That's probably what's happening. If I lowered it back down to 40. Hold on 1 second, guys. KB2.
Yes, Scott.
It's only 22 meters.
I'll be right back.
67 feet, a half wave on 75 meters.
And W4D or 40.
And for QNT at the 40.
10-4 VFR.
Victor Alpha 3 Kilo, Bravo Charlie.
SDR.
83 PSN. Yeah, it's a half wave. It's only a quarter wave on one side of the half wave dipole. So, because 75 feet is 22 meters.
Oh, yeah, no, I know. Yeah, exactly. Okay, I see how you're looking at it. Yeah, so usually like a half wave dipole cut for a band is generally it's the one you're representing the one leg is the measurement.
Yeah, I know what you mean there.
So I guess a full wave would be 135 feet above the ground.
Yeah.
Now a quarter wave, I guess, is the antenna I used to play on 160, 127 foot vertical. Well, what do you call it? A inverted L, up halfway and out the other half. So it was like 67 feet up and 67 feet out. Yeah, you're strong here right now, Rick. You're booming in. I got some 20 over peaks.
Yeah, it's about how you are up here with me.
Is that thing sticking or something? You mentioned something. Did it cure itself, or is it still doing it?
Nah, it still does it every once in a while. I'm pretty sure my filter board in Hermes is acting up. It's been doing this the last few days, and it'll straighten itself out on its own after I use it for a while, and then it starts to stick again. Yeah, it's weird. And I've only noticed it on 80, so that's why I think it's a relay on the filter board. Hey, you tripped your amp.
I'm back.
I did. Oh, that's weird. All right, well, anyway, man, what the heck is going on? I just had a blowout. There's a blowout. Reboot.
Maybe you just gotta close the program and turn it back on.
Yeah, reboot, right? I'll let it resync here. No, I was going to say, Rick, it's $52.95. Not too bad.
Nah, like I said, I'll order another one Monday. It's not a big deal.
Hey, guys, saw one of those down designs, dual purpose, but it's a 4-to-1. He said it was, I can't remember what was dual about it. Anyway, 5 kW balance on QRZ.
Isn't it? It's probably a double stacked dual core.
And maybe that's what it was. It did have 2 cores in it. But I think it was a dual purpose. Like, it was a 4-to-1/common choke balance. Anyway, it's on QRZ.
What's on QRZ, Dom? I missed that.
A barrel design, 4-to-1 barrel. I think it's a dual purpose barrel. It could be just dual core. I don't remember exactly what it said, but it was 5 kW. I think he's selling it for $75.
Oh yeah, there it is. I had that. That's the one I used to use for my off-center fan. I had that down on the garage bench. The dual core. Yeah, dual ballot, I guess is considered. It has 2 cores.
Oh, so it's just a 4-to-1. It's not like a 4-to-1 and a current choke.
Yeah, because I know he makes that one too. It has a 4-to-1, and then it's a hybrid 1-to-1. And that's just, that's just if you're going to hook coax directly up to it so you don't have the reflector.
Right. So, Jack dropped off his analyzer. I was able to spot my antennas. I do need, the Wyndham's definitely a little longer than it should be. So I'm going to end up shrinking that up. I'm just going to get new wire for it. I think I'm going to get a Ballon too and just build another one so I could just drop this one and replace that one.
You still in there, Doug?
He left the room. I see on the screen here his daughter came to the door, so he took off. If I remember right, John's NU9N loop is only like, it's an 80-meter loop. I think it's only like 20 feet off the ground, 25 feet off the ground.
Wow, really? I hear John quite well in the mornings, and he's up there, right? What is it? I'm trying to remember. Is it Ohio?
No, he's in Illinois.
That's right, Illinois. Yeah, he's usually 20 over all the time. Now, the strongest signal on that frequency is, oh man, I always mess the names up. I'm sorry. I want to say his name, Greg. Yeah, Greg is the strongest signal on that whole group.
Yeah, Greg's the bully of that frequency. I always call him bully. And then his backup bully is Chris, WR6G.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, when Greg goes on that vertical